In the category of vehicle emergency prep, one upgrade you should consider is extending the range of your truck. So I got a toolbox and auxiliary tank combination from the Fuelbox.com. I'll show it to you today. The Fuelbox makes a lot of different combinations. They also have just toolboxes, and they have just in-bed tanks. So this is the auxiliary tank, and then the factory tank is what I'm calling the main tank of the truck. The truck's trip computer is aware of the gauge that's in the main tank, but it is not aware of the gauge that's inside of the auxiliary tank. So when the truck reports your range, it doesn't know about how many gallons are extra in here. It's made from marine grade aluminum, so you don't have a lot of corrosion issues. I got it with this lining, which is available on all of their models. It's a hard lining, more like Line-X, and not a soft, tacky lining like Rhino liner. Notice here this seam between the tank underneath and the box on top. This is two separate containers. What that means is that when I put tools inside the toolbox, I'm putting them on the bottom of this box, not on the top of my tank. So I'm not going to dent, damage, scratch, cut, poke, whatever. I like that feature. It just gives a little extra protection for the auxiliary tank. If either one of these latches is unlocked, it's going to open the top for you. This latch is locked right there. Okay, but I can unlock this one on this side of the truck and open the latch. You know, a lot of the competitors have a straight flange here, and then they just clip a seal on top of it. But every time you get your tools in and out of the box, and every time you open it, and you run the risk of tearing the seal. This C-flange provides a curved surface for a neoprene seal that resides up on the lid and seals shut. This reinforcing plate here prevents the top from flexing. So I don't have to get in the bed of the truck and close it like this. I can stand here outside the truck and close it, and it latches down all the way. Nice feature. Look, you can get a different size box if you want. I needed a big tank and just a few tools. If you need a lot of tools, you can get the deeper box that resides on a smaller tank. They have a ton of combinations at the Fuelbox.com. Let's take a look inside. It's not a really deep box. It's exactly what I wanted, it's just not very much. You can put a bunch of stuff in here as long as you keep it organized. You fill right here, and there's a separate compartment for the filler cap, because in case you have any spills and you don't want a bunch of your tools and stuff just cluttering up all around here. If you add cetane booster to your fuel, it's going to dissolve the lining. So be careful with it. Use a funnel to fill the cetane booster. Let's go inside and I'll show you how the AFC works. AFC stands for Auto Fuel Controller. Here's the AFC, and as you can see, it has a gauge reporting from the auxiliary tank how much is in there. That's my average MPG, and 252 miles to empty, based on just a little more than half a tank. This fuel gauge is telling me how much is in the factory tank. It does not know how much is in the auxiliary tank. Range calculation is based on what's in the factory tank. It does not take into account what's in the auxiliary tank. If you have the auto fuel controller set to automatic, and the fuel level in the main tank drops down to something between a quarter and a half a tank, it's going to trigger the pump to start pumping fuel out of the auxiliary tank and into the filler nozzle of the main tank, and then it will stop when it reaches around 3/4 full or a little more. The range calculation then is going to increase a little bit to show you that now all of a sudden you've got more range. If you ask the LI-O-meter, it's telling me I get 18 average MPG. In fact, it's more like 17, 16.9, something like that. If I'm lucky and I get 17, then that's going to give me a total range of around 1,400 miles. Your mileage will vary on that a little bit because it just depends on the specific model of the truck you have. Even if you have the same Ford F250 that I have, it came with different size tanks. So you just need to know which size tank you have. This auxiliary tank I have is 57 gallons. The AFC can be set to automatic, or you can set it to manual, or you can just turn it off. I just leave it on automatic. It has worked fine. The pump is right under here. So come take a look. This is the pump. When the AFC triggers the pump to run, it pulls fuel out of the auxiliary tank and runs it through a hose into a hole that you have to cut into the fuel filler pipe. And then it cuts off when the AFC senses that the truck's fuel gauge reaches about 3/4 full. I did have a problem with this when they shipped it. They had the pump on backwards. It was trying to fill the auxiliary tank, so it was just sucking air out of the filler pipe and pumping it into the auxiliary tank. And the fix was simply to disconnect the pump, reverse it, put the hose back on, and it ran fine. One of the most important things about this company, the Fuelbox.com, there's like 3 people that work over there, and if you call them, an actual human being will answer the phone who knows exactly what he's talking about. These guys are absolutely top-notch. You want customer service? Go to the Fuelbox.com. I get nothing out of this, okay? I'm just reporting something that I really like. I found an awesome product out there, and I just wanted to let you know about it, and I want to give kudos to the company because they're excellent. All right, hey, Snowman here. Go to the blog, survivalnewsonline.com, and I'll have more information about this tank and the company that makes it. I'll see you there.